those drakes are able to concentrate fire, they should be able to one or at most two volley those Ishkers and then be able to manage the damage from the apocalypse. We see lasers going off, and not just a ton of damage going on to... Well, now we see an Ishker for the 24th Imperial Crusade about to hit structure. So they decided to go after the smaller ships first, maybe negate some of the EW that we've seen brought from the Ishkers in previous matches.
Yeah, these Drakes are actually MWD fitted, and this could change the match. If they can get in close to the tracking, getting close to those APOCs and negate the tracking. The trouble is, of course, those APOCs are going to have webs. Some of those Ishkers will have webs or 2-point scramblers. Now, I'm still going to stick with my call here, of course, but it's certainly interesting to match up. We are seeing smart bombs going off in the APOC. The drones that were there are no longer there. I'm surprised by the call from the Agony team to use the APOC's main beams on those two Ishkers. That really has shocked me. They all launch light drones. Let the drones do the work and put your main hardware on those Drakes and get those Drakes down. They have switched now. Both Ishkers for the Amarr Militia team are down, and they've switched now to a Drake, the one that was at half shield, and as predicted, that EM thermal damage from those APOCs is tearing him apart. Literally chunks of his shield are falling off, and it won't be long before he's dead. We are seeing one APOC right now at about 2/3 armour, and but again, it's a huge passive buffer tank, and it's just pixels dropping. They will certainly kill one of those APOCs, I suspect, but by the time they've done that, they've probably lost half their firepower. One Drake now entering armour. He's only got half. He's actually dead now. And moving on to 5 Drakes left. So 5 Drakes playing 4 APOCs, one about half armour, and all 6 of the Ishkers for the Agony team are alive and well.
Yeah, not real sure about the target prioritization by the 24th Imperial Crusade here. We've got all 4 of the APOCs have at least some shield damage on them. That may be, some of that's going to be from the smart bombs, but the damage is uneven, so I doubt that all of it is coming from the smart bombs. Same with the Ishkers, and you were talking about the targeting of the Ishkers by Agony first off, and it looked like all of the warriors, or most of the warriors from Agony's Ishkers, were chasing down those Amarrian Ishkers at the very beginning of the match. So another interesting choice there. We're now seeing a second Drake dip into armor, and it's going to be going down very quickly. And now we're just now starting to see some damage go on to those Agony Ishkers, which, you know, under concentrated fire should be able to be popped pretty quickly by these Drakes. I'm not sure. Doesn't look like they're able to keep. They're not at any further range than the Apocalypses are, so I'm not real sure what the target prioritization issue is there, but those Ishkers are actually going to be cranking out a fair bit of damage, as well as whatever E-War they happen to bring with them.
I expected the Drakes, who do seem to have MWDs, I expect them to get close in on those, about 11 or 12k orbit on those APOCs. I'm really shocked they decided to stay out at range and take the full brunt of the APOC's firepower. And really, you guys will see this when you watch the video. They are slaughtering those Drakes' buffer shield tanks, slaughtering, just ripping through it. And now we're down to 3 Drakes, and they've stopped shooting that APOC for some reason. He's back up to about half armour. In fact, this is utter fail, to be honest with you. There's not one ship lost from the Agony side. Many of them are in armour. There is a few of them are in shield damage, but that was from smart bombing. But a lot of them, 2 of them are in armour. Yeah, 2 of them are in armour, and I don't see any DPS really coming forth at the moment. And when those APOCs get locks on one of those Amarr Militia Drakes, it really is an absolute slaughter. This is going to be a very comfortable win for the Agony team, I'm sure.
Yeah, and it does look like those Drakes may be having some locking issues, in at least some instances. We are seeing what appear to be dampener effects coming off of those Ishkers, which again, it again kind of calls into question their decision to keep at range. As we see another Drake going down, we're down to 3. It's a waiting game as far as the end of this match now, but if they'd have come in closer, it might have negated some of that trouble that they're having from those sensor dampeners. But we're seeing the Drakes continuing to pull away. One of them micro warp driving right now, and it's just kind of an odd choice of tactics, because it looks like he is running more or less straight away from the bulk of the Agony ships.
Yeah, I have to say, without wanting to harp on, this is a very poor showing by the Amarr Militia, awful FCing, and an overall bad performance. The APOCs are having no problems whatsoever tracking. The Drakes are not getting close and creating an orbit range and forcing the APOCs to split. They've just MWD'd away from them in a direct line. The APOCs are not sensor damped, aren't unable to get a lock, are able just to put the right crystal in and hit them full powered, and those Drakes are dropping. The shield from a Drake here is dropping in around 15 seconds, and for me it's just it's a poor show. I think that it's a good show by Agony though, and I'm not sure why they chose APOCs. For me, the APOCs are probably the wrong choice, but I'm sure they had their reasons. I know it's a very cap heavy machine, and I know that it does have that massive advantage, but for me I think it's really time. But that said, they've utilised what they've got here perfectly well. They've called some strange targets at the beginning. I'd left the Ishkas and just got straight onto the Drakes, but it really made no difference because the Drake team from the Amarr Militia have failed from the beginning and continue to fail at this moment, and thus the Agony team were never under any pressure whatsoever. So we're going to see Agony in the last 32, which is a fantastic result for them. And we see the Amarr Militia, unfortunately for them, but a great win, and that pile of Drake is now popping, and we see that at the end of the match, not one ship lost for Agony.